Hello and welcome back to another video. In this tutorial, I'll be sharing how to make hand beading embroidery on your garments. And if this is something you're interested in learning, you want to keep on watching. To begin, I went ahead to draw the design that I wanted. I did this using a pen, so it's advisable to draw an outline on your fabric before you commence beading. And these are all the beads I'll be using. I have this thread here and my beading needle. This beading needle is really small. As you can see, it's smaller than the regular hand sewing needle, and this is what I'll be using for this project. I have these gold rice beads. They're quite long and fine. I just thought they looked cute and decided to get them. And I've got these sand beads. These are white sand beads, and this is what they look like. I also got blue sand beads. So these blue sand beads, I really didn't use them later much. Like, I didn't use a lot of them because it really did not go well with the outfit. But you can see that the beads are like way smaller than the white beads I showed earlier. That's the blue beads are way smaller. And I've got these silver beads. They are the same size as the blue beads and they are equally smaller than the white beads that I showed you guys earlier. So these are the beads. Then I've got this iridescent, is that what it's called? Iridescent bead, meaning it changes color depending on the reflection of light. So I've got these beads that kind of like change color depending on where the light hits, and I've got just a few of these which I'll be using to make the leaf petals later on. Now to commence, I'm going to pass my thread from one end of my vine, starting from the shoulder neck there, or the shoulder seam there. I'm going to pass my thread from underneath the fabric upwards. Next, I'll pass beads down the needle or through the thread to the bottom of the thread. So I'm just going to pass the beads through the needle and slide them down the thread. So do know I'm doing this one at a time because these beads are a bit long, so you have to take your time to do this and put them through the needle one at a time, or put the needle through the beads one at a time. So that is what you see me doing currently. So after I have put enough beads to run down that line that I drew, I'm just going to tack the needle down, basically passing the needle underneath my fabric and out again. So when passing the needle, I'm not passing it all the way through the lining because this garment is lined. So I'm just passing it through the main fabric only, just so the thread doesn't show from the wrong side of the garment. So after I have held this down, I'm going to go in with a back stitch like this. So what this does, it helps me secure down the beads from end to end. Now when I pass the thread like this, I'm going to go over the beads and under the beads. So I'm just going to go over the beads and bring out the needle from another part where I want to tack. So what this does, it helps me secure the beads in position without them moving or dangling from end to end. So this secures the beads and ensures that they lay where you want them to be and they stay where you want them to be. So I'm going to put the needle over the beads, then bring the needle out from under. Now when bringing the needle from under the beads, I'm not bringing the needle from where I brought it out from before. I'm bringing it forward, as you can see, like forward. I'm bringing the needle forward, and this would help me move the needle from one end of the seam or one end of the beads to the other end without having threads showing. Now do note that when going over and under beads, that I'm doing it in between beads, not over the beads, not on top the beads. So I try not to make the seam visible from on top the beads, so I try to place the seam or the thread in between two beads so it's not visible, as you can see. just take a look at what I'm doing, and I'm sure you get a clearer understanding. I'm going to continue this process until all the vines or all the branches are made, because this is a flower design that we're making, so we have to make the branches first. So I'm going to continue this process or repeat this process till I've made all the branches that I want. So at this point, this is how much branches or how many branches I have. So what I'll be doing next is to create the leaves, because this is a plant, like I said, and I'll be using these beads to make the leaves because they have the leaf shape. So I'm just going to tag this on each leaf design that I have on this drawing, or each leaf drawing that I have on this design. So I'm just going to tag that down on each end, because these beads have two holes, one hole on either end. So I'm going to tag both holes down, and I'm just going to sew it on this side before going over to the other opening to tack it down to the fabric. So I'm still tacking down this bead. So I've tagged both sides down, and I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process on all the areas where I have the leaf design on this outfit. So I've sewn 3 or 4 of those beads down. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the rest of them onto all the areas where I have the leaf design. As you can see on the fabric, I'm just going to sew the beads onto these leaf designs here, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on the sleeve. So I do not have the leaves drawn on the sleeve, but I'm going to draw them now and attach them. So this is what it looks like when it's sewn. You can see it looks really nice. It's shiny. It shines really nice when it hits light or hits the sun, and that is really nice. I thought that was really nice. So this is what we have it looking like right now. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and make the petals, or the flower petals basically, which are here, and on that sleeve area as well. So I'm just using these white beads, or these stone beads, these silver stone beads. I'm using my needle to pick the beads, and I'm just going to pick enough, or pick a number of beads that would be enough for me to make the outline of the flower first before going in to fill the flowers. So what I'm doing is I'm just picking beads and I'm making the outline, as meaning I'm making the outline of the flower, meaning that I'm just going around the border I'm going around the border of the flower using the bead. So depending on the size of the flower that you've drawn, that would determine the number of beads that you would require to go around. So my flowers are like really small, so I don't need like so much beads to form the border, just a few. So I'm just going to go round and form the outline first before going in to fill the inner section of the flower. So this is what it looks like when I have made the outline. Next, to start filling, I'm going to go over and under the bead that made the outline, and then I'm just going to use my needle to pick as much beads that I would need, enough beads that I would need, and then from where the thread is, I'm just going to measure if I have, you can see it's excess, so I'm just going to remove the excess beads, and when I have the right number of beads, I'm going to go over the outline on the other side. I'm going to go over the bead making the outline over and under it, as you can see, then bring out the needle. And so what this does, it helps me hold the border beads, the beads making the border, help me hold those beads in place, as well as give me a way to continue the beading process without making my thread visible. So just see what I'm doing and I'm sure you get a hang of it. So when I'm starting and ending each row that is used to fill the inner section of the flower, I go over and under the outer section of the beads or of the flower. After filling up the flower completely, I'm going to go ahead and make the, I don't know what they are called, but you know those tiny stick structures that extend from the middle of flowers where they have the pollen grains where butterflies like to stick on. So yes, that's what I'm doing. I think I'll have to check for the name of that. So that is what I'm doing currently. So after making a few beads, or after beading this much, I decided to fit it on the mannequin. I still have a lot to do though. I think I would extend the beading on the sleeve a little towards the back and make some more designs on the front as well. I'm not sure how I feel about these blue beads, but yeah, this is what it looks like. And yeah, let me just go make those adjustments and show you guys. So this is how the final design came out. I think I did pretty well for a first time trial. But yeah, this is what we have. And let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this tutorial. And I'll see you guys on another video.